Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now May 24th of 2023, and given that we have Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni lately really being very direct with the fans, and the entire community really delivering a lot of great new hype for the franchise, where things are going for the upcoming Star Wars movies and the TV shows, and exactly where things are heading for the Mandoverse overall. Now, we know that Jon and Dave have been a lot more open to the fan base and very honest in order to really kind of recapture the audience, and so to speak, to really kind of just garner the excitement for what's actually about to be revealed at this year's D23 event. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support, and without further ado, let's get right into the subject. Now, what's really intriguing about what Jon and Dave have been up to involving the Ahsoka Tano series and the follow-up being Season 2, and how that's going to lead into the Dave Filoni-centered Star Wars film, which, by the way, is going to have a lot of talented creators. But we have to talk about something that Jon Favreau just talked about how it is all coming to an end, essentially, and specifically what he means by that. And I think a lot of fans are going to have quite a very interesting emotion about all of this. So let's dive right into what Jon Favreau had to say, and exactly what it means for the future of Star Wars, where it's all going to go, what it really means for Kathleen Kennedy and many of the other employees over at Lucasfilm, etc., etc. So that brings us to the major thing here, is that with Jon Favreau recently answering many questions related to the future of Star Wars and where it's heading, he was able to confirm a number of things about the actual current state of the projects. Now, Favreau recently stated the following to the fans. Well, this was a serious conversation myself and Dave had over, of course, where it does all end for not fulfilling fans' dreams. What we wanted to put to a complete halt and an end for was the lack of listening to the fans and the community to create better products. And this was a habit that Disney and Lucasfilm grew into over the years. And it's something that we both can confirm that this is all coming to an end now. And we are going to be listening to all fans closely and carefully about what they want both on the big screen and at home on Disney+. We think that what they want, of course, is something very important, and there was this era, of the incorrect material being delivered to the fan base, and that just left many fans unhappy and irritated, and that is our goal, to end that, and those feelings within the dedicated community that just cherishes the wonderful franchise. Now, let me just stop here quick about what Favreau is saying before I get to the next big piece that he talks about. Now, basically, what he is confirming is that this current state of Disney essentially not listening to the fan base and just excluding the fan requests about what to expect on the big screen and at home on streaming services are officially now coming to a close. And how now it's going to be all about delivering fan expectations, fan requests, and exactly what they want to see in these stories, stuff like that. But what's even all the more important about this message by Favreau is that this is going to be the end of an era, essentially, about how Disney was never fulfilling fans' dreams, how they were not listening to the franchise's, overall outlook about how it was supposed to be from Star Wars Legends, how they did not respect George Lucas and his dreams over how the outlines of the sequel trilogy should have been handled. Basically, that whole structure, that whole system is now coming to an end and a complete halt in order for Jon and Dave to officially just do what they have to do and move on from there. Now, they do later confirm that they will be on their own and that they are not working with Kathleen Kennedy at all for future projects or anything like that. So we're going to get into that in just one second. But the thing that I find so very exciting about this is how this is going to be what I like to call the beginning of the golden years of Star Wars. And look, this is not going to happen overnight. It's going to take multiple years to convince fans that Star Wars is back in action on a consistent basis, right? Even if you have a success that's going to be like a one-off success, for example. Let's say Ahsoka is a huge success. I don't believe that's going to be enough to convince all the fans that Star Wars is, completely fixed now. It's going to take at minimum 3 whole years of consistent big hits either in theaters or on a streaming service like Disney Plus to truly convince fans that, yeah, Jon and Dave know exactly what they're doing now. Even though, guys, by the way, I have full faith in Jon and Dave and what they are about to put out, it's just like, what I'm saying is, it's going to take a long time to convince the general overall audience, the general fandom, to be convinced on an even scale that Star Wars is pretty much, coming back together again. So moving on to the next thing here. He goes on to elaborate. What's great is myself, Dave, and Tony are all on our own now for the most part, and it's really just all up to us to deliver the best experiences possible. We don't want to create any controversies and divisions again, or anything like that in this era or age of fan division caused by creators. Is something that we are putting to a close, starting with our Ahsoka series. I can promise everyone that. We were made fully aware about the lack of interest in Season 3, and there were many factors I would rather not go into again that caused that, but we are fully driven now to just give fans the best entertainment possible that will service the community altogether. We have those like Lucas and those like Timothy Zahn really helping us accomplish those goals too. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but everything related to the Ahsoka series has all the right things going for it. They had Lucas looking over it, they had Timothy Zahn as an advisor, he was looking over the actual show, he was guiding Jon and Dave exactly what to do, what not to do, taking key elements from Heir to the Empire, but not all of them, because let's face it guys, in case you guys did not know this, the Dave Filoni movie is going to have a lot of elements of Heir to the Empire and just the general Timothy Zahn trilogy of Thrawn. And basically the Ahsoka series is like the prelude to all of that. So don't expect a direct retelling of Heir to the Empire in Ahsoka Season 1 or 2. It's going to just be a setup for the Dave Filoni movie, which, by the way, is going to be a gateway to becoming a trilogy. We talked about this. Disney does not want to officially announce it, but it is happening behind closed doors. Dave Filoni is getting a trilogy, but he's starting off with the first film as a starting point that's going to open it up to 2 other movies, and they're going to treat that basically as a new sequel trilogy, so to speak. Not that they're going to be called episodes 7 through 9, but they are going to be considered a new sequel trilogy. Jon Favreau, behind the scenes, is calling it an inter-trilogy, so to speak, where it takes place in between the true sequels, or the Disney sequels, whatever have you, and the original trilogy by George. So he's calling it an inter-trilogy, alright? So you'll have the sequels, you have the prequels, you'll have the originals, and then you're going to have the interquels, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, guys, it's interesting enough that Jon is coming forward and confirming that this era of division is coming to an end, about how Disney does not listen to fans. That is being stripped down and rebuilt right now. So I think fans can rejoice a couple of years from now once they have the ball rolling officially. I would love to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.